Welcome to this emergency episode of Today in the Shop, brought to you by Tech Talk Taco Tuesday, brought to you by Dirt Bike Test, brought to you by all of our fine sponsors. Last night, we had technical difficulties. Imagine that. So I'm going to show you probably what you missed, or at least put the condensed version of what was inside of that KTM cylinder here so you can go ahead and see what we had going on. If you have any questions, you can go ahead and ask them in the chat, and I'll get to them when I get done playing this video, and I can point fingers and answer 9 out of 10 questions without referring to a reference manual. By the way, my name is Jimmy Lewis. This is brought to you by Dirt Bike Test, and of course, with a lot of help from Yamaha. So last night on Tech Talk Taco Tuesday, we pulled the cylinder off the KTM 300. And when I pulled it off, well, right when I took the coolant out, I go, oh yeah, this bike got really hot because the coolant wasn't the best condition. Probably filled up with just water. And anyways, so I pulled the cylinder off, and I was just going to slide the cylinder off, put a new piston on, slide it back on. But I found this wear right here. And actually, it was covered with kind of oil, the residue from the two-stroke oil, because the two-stroke oil did what it was supposed to do. It kind of went to the bad spot. This is where the heat is being developed, and it was doing as much lubing as it could. So I said, well, I looked at the cylinder, and it's kind of hard to see in there. I'll go ahead and flash a light in there to show you what it looks like. Here's the light here. So here's the cylinder, and you can see down in there some of the wear marks. And so now I was thinking back. I remembered when it got really hot. I remembered, oh yeah, it's going to need to be looked at. And so I decided to pull the head off. I mean, I've got the gasket kit right here. So I have the O-rings for the head, and I'm like, okay, it's no problem just to pull the cylinder head off. And these O-rings are actually pretty hot. They got hot. There's still some elasticity to them. I'm going to grab a pick and prod at those things really quick here, so you can see what they end up looking like when I pull them out. So yeah, that's probably good to replace these, because when they get hot and brittle, maybe not the best seal. And then I can also, when I take these out, I can run the cylinder head, and you can see here even on the cylinder head where, it's gotten warm. I was checking to see if there was detonation, which there isn't around here. As you can see, very little carbon buildup. The top of the piston is really nice. But yeah, this bike definitely got hot. The crank checks out really good. So I'm just going to take some really fine grit sandpaper and clean all of this off. And there's no, I don't think it really dug too many grooves in the electrofusion, but when I get it cleaned out, I'll put the piston in there, make sure everything's good. I don't expect it'll be too bad, and then we'll send it for another run. So that's an update on what we did, and maybe I'll do a Tech Talk Taco Wednesday when I start throwing this thing back together. You just never know around here. So that's Today in Your Shop update. See ya. So that's where we're at with the cylinder, and going to go ahead and right now and see if I can find any questions, which we don't have any. But that's what happens when people go to work. They can't ask they cannot ask questions because everybody's busy and doing those things. So I'm going to see if we have the questions here. There we go. See, no questions. I explained it so well. So with that, that's your update. We'll see if we actually end up going live to talk about putting it back together. It's going to slip right back together, and